All right, running one marathon's hard enough. This lady intends to run 100 of them. She is the chief executive of Thirst, Mina Guli, and starting with this weekend's New York Marathon, another 99 after that. Why are you running 100 marathons in 100 days?
It's very simple, because I want to change the world and I want to show what it means to be 100% committed to something, and in my case, solving the global water crisis.
Right, but you were in commerce. You have a history, World Bank, Chamber of Commerce, China. What happened that made you decide that Thirst, which is the foundation you've set up, was the way to go?
I realized that it's all very important to be committed to making money, to creating corporations, to creating sustainable long-term organizations. But the real key to that is ensuring that you have enough resources to be able to do that. And one of the biggest risks to our societies, to our economies, to our growth as a community is water. And decided if there was one thing I was going to do, it would be to fix this water crisis.
Does it seem strange to talk about fixing crises at the home of capitalism, the New York Stock Exchange, where I'm sure cynics and lefties would say half the problem started with the companies in this room?
The great thing about some of these companies is that they can also be part of the solution. The reality is that these companies have massive reach, they have massive opportunity, all of them have large numbers of employees, and it's companies like these, like some of my partners, like Colgate and others, who step up to the plate and say, water is a risk, we need to fix it.
You can hear a lot of cheering in the background.
They're cheering my marathon.
Yeah, they're cheering others. I'm guessing it's either it's some anniversary or somebody leaving or something like that. The exchange gets very excited about these things. So, 100 marathons in 100 days. How are you going to do it?
So, the way you set up to do everything, whether it's starting a business, solving any problem, big or small, basically starts with a single step. So every day I wake up and I go for a run, and it happens that the run is a marathon. Along the way, it's very important to me that I talk to people, I talk to companies, I talk to business owners.
But once you start each day, you're going to keep going. I mean, you don't stop sort of have a chat with somebody on the way.
No, usually what happens is people do come along. Sometimes I feel a bit like Forrest Gump. People join me along the way. I think you're going to join me, at least for one or two.
What sort of speed will you be jogging at? Like this,
very slow. Yes, I'm not a speedy runner by any stretch of the imagination.
How are you going to do 26 miles, 26.2 miles, 100 of them? Because you've got to then also get from place to place to place. What's the furthest distance that you've got to go between runs?
So I'm going to fly across, I think the furthest distance is from South Africa to Australia. I leave South Africa at lunchtime and I land in Australia at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I have to run a marathon before midnight. After, I think we fly for 14 hours.
You've got to start before midnight or complete?
I have to complete it because I have to run a marathon every single day. The idea is that we run one marathon every single day without stopping, without failing, for 100 days. Yeah. That's what 100% commitment looks like.
Oh, so I see, that's the 100-100.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I've heard of this sort of thing being done before, and I know from covering those things, it is unbelievably arduous. It sounds great on day 2, 5, 10. But once you get to day 76, day 83, day 8, I mean, what's your biggest fear in all of this?
Honestly, my biggest fear, most people expect that my biggest fear is that I won't succeed in finishing 100 marathons in 100 days. That's not my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that what I do won't have the impact that I want it to have. I want to solve this global crisis.
Do not worry about that. Do not worry about that. You have no control over that part. And I think it will have a major impact, because anybody who's prepared to do what you're prepared to do, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations before you've even started.
Thank you. And one of the biggest fears is starting. I think the biggest success is finishing.
We'll be with you. We will be with you. Well, in spirit, because I'm not. When we come back after the break, a man who has fought corruption in Africa for many years, Trevor Manuel, will be talking to us as well. Also, Brexit and what actually will happen when the UK leaves, and one of the biggest Brexiteers who actually, well, is now in trouble with the law.